Welcome to Bauman College. My name is Marcella, as Karen said, and I've been teaching in the Natural Chef program at Bauman College since March of 2005. So I'm actually in my 10th semester of teaching. And I've been involved in the natural food world probably since college. This salad is really intriguing to me. It continues to intrigue me. I've made it many, many times. I've made it for 200 people because I work in the food service world, and so oftentimes I have to cook in quantity. I've made it for 35 people. I've made it for 10 people at a Christmas dinner I was at 2 years ago. The variety of flavors and ingredients and the health benefits of this salad are really pretty remarkable. So I think this will definitely fit your bill. And it's a kind of salad, it has a lot of possibilities of variation. How do you know when a recipe is a good recipe? Like, how many of you are cooks? People cook? Cook at home? Raise your hands. Don't be shy. Be proud. Home cooks, listen, home cooks are an endangered species these days, so really. Children are 15 times more likely to eat something if they have been involved in the preparation of it. So whether they've been in the garden helping to grow the food, I will tell you a story. I used to work in New York City, and I worked with children at risk of hunger, and I worked with low-income adults, and I worked in a lot of those so-called bad neighborhoods. And one day I was doing a presentation at a community center up in Harlem, and this chef came and said she wanted to do tofu and brown rice and seaweed for kids in Harlem. And I said, ooh, okay, I'm willing. It's a tough sell. And the kids were involved with cooking the rice, and they soaked the seaweed, and they pressed the tofu. Out of 10 kids, 7 of them tried it, and 5 of them ate it. That was proof positive that having kids, the other thing about children, they say that for boys, do you have a boy? Okay. So having your son in the kitchen with you cooking, and he's engaged in an activity, he's more likely to tell you what is going on in his life through the activity rather than if you sit down with him and say, so what's going on? There was a study done of national merit scholars, kids across the demographic, rich, poor, all different races, all different economic backgrounds. The one thing they had in common, all these kids, was that they regularly sat down to eat with their families. And family dinner time conversation increases kids' vocabulary skills. It increases their social skills. It teaches them how to cook. It teaches them how to appreciate food and so on. So what makes a recipe good is that it can stand up to a lot of variation. And this emerald salad, a good recipe to me is one that I produce in a lot of different contexts, and it still comes out consistently good. In terms of the procedures, if you look down at step 1, combine 1 cup of rinsed wild rice with 3 cups of water and a pinch of salt in a medium saucepan. We've already done that. We've cooked the wild rice, and here it is right here. Here's my red onion, and I've sliced it while I was talking to you. And I've put in a little bit of the apple cider vinegar. One of the things that's really wonderful about Bauman College, you learn a lot here, and you become very conversant, so to speak, in health-supportive ingredients. And apple cider vinegar is one of those power foods that if you're interested in healing, you should definitely put it in your pantry. It has all kinds of beneficial properties. And the important point for it to be truly beneficial is for it to be raw. And this is pretty shaken up right now, but if you let this settle, you'll see all this sort of sediment. The next thing I'm doing in this recipe is I'm preparing the kale. So kale is another one of these superfoods that you would learn about if you were to come to Bauman College. One of the classes that we teach here at Bauman College is dedicated to vegetables. It's called Greens and Vegetables, and we talk a lot about green leafy vegetables, both in the beginning of the program and then throughout, because just about, I think this is true. This is what I've observed anyway. Just about any therapeutic application of foods involves leafy green vegetables. Leafy green vegetables are one of the most important foods for us to eat. It's also the thing that we tend to be most lacking in the nutrients that we get from leafy green vegetables, like omega-3 essential fatty acids. You wouldn't think of that coming from something like kale. We think of omega-3 essential fatty acids as coming from, say, salmon. But where do the salmon get it from? They eat plankton. They eat the green matter that is in the sea if they're wild salmon. I mean, ultimately, it's how we eat the sun. It's the sun shines down, it makes green matter that we either eat directly or we eat the animals that eat it, ideally, in the ideal food system. Kale is a powerhouse, like I said, omega-3 essential fatty acids, calcium, ladies and gentlemen. Osteoporosis is not just a women's disease. Calcium, iron, what else said? Beta-carotene, B vitamins, magnesium. Salad, you can see what I've done here. I can show you is I've sliced this kale very fine. This kind of a cut is called chiffonade, and that's a French word that literally means to cut into ribbons or cut into rags. And so one of the things that's really wonderful about the chef program at Bauman College is, for me, one of the things that's really great is the integration of the conversation about the therapeutic properties of foods combined with very practical, hands-on chef skills. So, at the beginning of our program, we have a whole class that we dedicate to knife skills. So we start out at the very beginning just learning how to handle knives and being comfortable with them. And through the program, we will talk about foods not only from the point of view of their healing properties, but also how we can cook them. How we select them, how we store them, and so on. And also, what are some of the food systems issues today that cause us to need to be more discriminating? But here's the real magic of the emerald salad. This is what's called a massaged salad. I'm literally massaging the kale and the shiitake mushrooms together. And I'm going to put a little bit of salt on. So pumpkin seeds are one of those wonderful, beneficial sources of very, very good fats. I'm mixing in the wild rice here. And I've got my onions, my pumpkin seeds, my rice, mushrooms, and kale. And I'm going to put in, here's some sour cherries from the local market that we're going to garnish with. So as you go through the summer and you find kale in the farmers markets and so on, pick up some different fruits and play with the fruits in this salad. Later in the summer, the pluots and the peaches are just starting to come out, and peaches would be wonderful in here. And add your own ingredients and let me know what you think. So basically, here's our finished salad. Nice, huh? Beautiful blend of colors. So that's another way to know that you're on track with your food, is if you're eating your colors, right?